Hey everyone, it's Miss Forbes here, and we're at episode 4 of the Forbes Agency podcast with you, Kirk.
Yes, me, Kirk. Here.
I really didn't know if this was gonna happen, so I'm so excited. I know you're busy. You took the time, so thank you. I'm gonna try to give an intro that I feel is like warranted, but Kirk owns a creative business and has been doing so over 2 decades, almost 30 years. The studio is called FM, and I have gotten tons of piercings there. I have 2 tattoos on my body that I got at FM actually, and have tons of friends. So I think this is gonna be such a good episode for you if you are trying to learn about longevity and community. And there's so many things that you do outside of just being a business owner and a father. So I'm really gonna just give it away to you. I'm gonna be here to get gems myself. So don't laugh, I'm for real. Look, I get inspiration from all of my friends and everyone that's on the podcast, but especially from someone who's been able to have a business for almost 30 years. I mean, that's in tattooing as well. So I'll let you have the floor. Let us know about your creative process and how all of this came to be what it is today.
Oh, wow, you're trying to stay here all day for all that. But anyway, I've been in the tattooing business as an owner and an artist for 26 years, like you said, over 2 decades. I'm trying not to say is so unprofessional.
I say look.
I hate to say because I feel like I don't know what I'm talking about.
We know,
but anyway,
you know what you're
back
talking
to it. I could go down a long road, a short road, or whatever. I'll just start off as becoming an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. It's I didn't want it. I didn't want to be a business owner. That was not my main drive in the situation. I didn't wake up one day and was like, hey, I want to own a business. It was the progression that put me in that position, and I just had to grow with it, you know. Of course, if I told the whole story, I never wanted to tattoo either. It was 1998. Tattooing was underground, you know, bikers and hood. You know, it wasn't really popular.
Mainstream, like it is now. Mm-hmm.
And I had no intention on tattooing. I'm personally afraid of needles. Like when I go to the doctor and they talk about a shot, I'm like, I need pills or a liquid.
That's crazy.
I hate needles to this day. I'm about to be 52, and yeah, I still run from needles. But anyway, back to this story.
Ironic.
Like I said, it never was a passion for me. I was born an artist. I was always an artist. I always drew. I was always a creative. I never knew that it was going to take me in that direction, and I owe all that to God. Mm-hmm. You know, I give him all the glory on that progress because I had no idea. It wasn't my plan at all. Mm-hmm. If I could go back and tell the story, I was at home, I was alone, it was an empty house. My mom had a pretty big house, long hallway. I was walking down the hallway, and in the middle of the hallway something said, you need to be tattooing. It was a voice. Mm-hmm. And I stopped because nobody was at the house. Neighborhood quiet, man. It scared me. Mm-hmm. You know, I was like, what is that? Who said that? So I stood there for like 5 minutes
in shock,
you know, and it just dwelled on me for weeks. It just beat me in the back of the head for weeks. You need to be tattooing. I had no idea. It's not like today where you can Google or get any type of information. All we had was encyclopedias and the Dewey Decimal System, and the libraries didn't even have any, you know, text on how to actually tattoo, you know. But and it's funny, and I'll get to that story. I'll try to make it short. It's funny because I had the idea. I had no way to make it happen. We didn't have the internet, or we had like dial-up, which really wasn't the internet. Mm-hmm. I found a tattoo magazine, and it had a kit in the back of it, and it was $1,500, and I didn't have it. And the reason I say it's ironic, because you just interviewed Joey. I don't know how the placement is going to be in there, but Joey is my god brother. His sister is really my cousin / god sister. And
small world.
His sister gave me the money to get the tattoo kit. And She gave me the money out. It was weird because, now it sounds crazy that you cut something out of the back of a magazine, write on it, and send a check to somewhere you don't even know if the check's going to come back. And it came back and it sat on my bed for months because it didn't have any instructions. And somebody came over that had learned in prison. He showed me how to put it together, and it still sat on my bed for months, no instructions. And one of my friends came in and he was like, "Hey, you got a tattoo kit?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Tattoo me." I was like, "What? I don't know what I'm doing." He was like, "I trust you. You know how to draw, and you're going to fix it when you get better." So that was the start of it. And it went from, the progression was from my mom's house to a small room in a barber shop to my own shop, and that was less than a year. So that's why I say it was nothing but God. It wasn't my plan at all. And I just followed that road that he had paved for me, to wherever it took me. Like I said, no idea that I was going to be owning. If you go back 26 years later and be like, "Hey, you're going to be owning a tattoo shop," I'll tell you, it was crazy.
I think that's so important for people to hear, that you need to just follow where God is leading you and follow your passions. Because if you, like you said, would have thought or tried to figure it out yourself, you'd have been like, "Hell no, I'm not gonna own FM or do this." But you just kept doing what you loved, and you just kept following, that voice, like you said. So that's like so deep. Because I wanted to be like specifically a model, but I'm like a people person, and here I am doing a podcast, model instructor. So I think it's important for us as creatives to stay open-minded and trust, our higher power.
Trust and stick to your guns. Like, you have to stay solid in just like they say about God, he's a rock in
unwavering time.
Yeah, he's a rock. You have to stay rock. And the things about creatives, we're so magical, and we don't really understand how magical we are, because they have people in the world that can't create anything, and we can take nothing and create something.
Yes.
So we have to stand firm on that. Stand firm on it, no matter what. That's like just Joey. It's many times that Joey has called me and like, "Man, this sewing thing ain't working out." And I'm like, "Stick to it. No matter what, stick to it." It's a reason.
Yeah, it is. And it's hard. I feel like a lot of creatives, we kind of grow up kind of like outsiders. At least for me, like, I wanted to be friends with everyone because I didn't really feel like I fit in with anyone. And as an adult, I feel that way. I'm not a 9-to-5er. I'm not like just like herd type of like thinking. I'm always like, I'm neurodivergent. Like, I have all these different ways I process information and things that I'm passionate about. And I want to be in a space where I can create things and live, I don't have to be a millionaire. That would be great, God, if that's in the plans, listen. But I really love connecting with people and like talking to people about being creative, And I think it's important for creatives, people that, whether they do have the desire to go in business, they, like you said, need to get clear on what it is they're passionate about, what it is they want to do, and stick with it, because it's not the norm. People pursuing creative, paths in life as a career is not really supported. We don't really learn about things like that. It obviously now we're progressing, but still in all, I'm like the only person in my family who kind of took this route. All of the women in my family are nurses and teachers, which is great. Love my grandmother. I still have a thirst for knowledge, and creatives, we do have that thirst for knowledge, but it's in a different way.
In a different way, yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, and I'm thankful that I, after my little hiatus, decided to get back on the horse, because I just feel inspired, and it's like, I know that I do want to do it, And I think if you're listening to this, having conversations with people that you see that have longevity or have things that you aspire to have, it's good to talk to them, ask them questions. I'll be sending Kirk DMs, asking where he found, you post YouTube videos.
And I answer people. I don't gatekeep, because I was gatekeeped. And I promise, ever since I started gaining knowledge, that I wasn't going to gatekeep that knowledge. You know, it was, and certain things that you said, longevity is success to me. It's not money. You know, you got to hold purpose above profit, popularity. You got to hold purpose above that.
Purpose, yeah.
Purpose is going to get you where you need to go, even if you don't know where you're going. And a lot of people don't understand. They so focused on money, and that's why they don't understand why their businesses don't succeed.
Right.
You know, you're going to take a loss. It's cliche, everything they say, you know, it takes money to make money. That's true.
Right.
You know, but if your focus isn't primarily money, then you're going to succeed. Because anytime somebody asks me about success, I say it's longevity.
Yeah.
It's longevity. To be able to provide, sustain, and grow. You know, a lot of us are just used to surviving. We aren't used to thriving. And we think thriving is big
having
houses.
a lot of cash or having a lot of
big houses, fancy cars,
materials things.
But thriving
if you're not
is not having a car note,
living comfortably,
not having a mortgage,
and doing something that you love. And when I first started like the Forbes agency, I didn't have money, but I genuinely, like, and I didn't even know the Forbes agency would have been a business, but I genuinely loved doing photo shoots, going to fashion shows. I just, like you said, following that purpose, you know, and there's a lot of times when still, even now in this transition phase that I'm in, like, I don't really know what's gonna come of it, but I know that I wake up and I'm excited, and like I said before, I love connecting with people and I am inspired, so everything else kind of falls in place. But putting that purpose first before the amount of followers or, you know, all of the material stuff that we do. And it's hard because social media is in this space now where we're obviously seeing everyone's highlight reel, which can be inspiring, but if you're in a bad place and you're looking at all this, like, it can distract you, you know?
You gotta understand that's not reality. That's fake. I could go outside right now and lay in the grass and take a close-up picture and say I'm in Miami.
So true.
I could post something from weeks, months ago and say, this is what I'm doing now. You have done that. I learned that with reality TV. I've been on a couple of shows, and I fondly remember filming for MTV one time, and they came in the shop and they filmed for hours, and we were only on TV for 2 minutes. I was like, how is that possible? But that lets you understand, you know, people are watching reality TV thinking that's life. And they
that it's really not reality.
It's
100%.
not reality. You're telling me you're taking 24 hours and putting it on a 2-hour show?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And it's you can manipulate, just like how we can manipulate content. We want to repurpose content, TV, you know, but that just goes back to being able to stay focused and have a higher power, because creatives, especially me, you know, I'm ADHD. I can see something, if it touches me emotionally, like, I'm motivated to do that thing. And so I've had to learn as I've grown, especially being a business owner, I have to stick to the plan. Things are exciting, things look and feel exciting, especially on social media, things can look and feel exciting. And they might excite you when you watch it, but if it's really not what you want to do, you're wasting time. And it's not really time wasted in the grand scheme of things, because it's lessons, and sometimes we have to experience lessons. But I think something that you have done with your business, and something that I see, like, you don't gatekeep, and you're you, and you're gonna be real about and people respect you, you know, and people will rally, you know, if someone's messing or doing something, you know, to you or whatever. It's like, people like, who we need to call, because it's like, it's like that creative person that has built skin in the game, and you might not want to hear it that way, but you know it's beneficial.
I'm gonna tell you, the biggest part of that is giving. A lot of people come into businesses, into careers, just taking. You only could take for so long before you have to give back. You know, and I was that person. You know, in my business, I was making money and I was spending money. I was making money and I was spending money. And then I'll never forget this one time, Webby's brother came to me. And he was like, man, I got this idea for cancer. I want you to be a part of it. And I was like, okay. You know, it was fancy. We dressed up. You know, and we donated to the cancer cause. And I was like, this feels great.
Yeah.
You know, because for a long time I had been taking, and now I have the chance to give back. And once I started giving back, I understood that I have to do that more. That's what I'm in business for. I'm not in business for myself. I'm in business
to share your gifts and
share my gifts. And ever since then, that's all I did. That's all I did was give back.
Yeah, I know you always have like initiatives every time there's a holiday or back to school or, you know, and when I talked to you initially, like I told you, like you really have built a community and people that know you care about them, like care about their well-being. So it's not just about getting a tattoo or getting a piercing. You know, you have artists that come in with you and they can get some real foundational skills and stay with you for years. And I think as a creative business owner, that is important. Like you said, giving back and trying to see how you can be useful to share your gifts, not just about money, you know, but we want to be able to help people because people help us. Like you said, Joey's family, your godmother or aunt gave you the kit?
His sister.
Because of someone giving to you, you know? And that's so good. That's so important.
And back to the topic of business, the most important thing about being a business owner is being able to do everything yourself. Because with that, I'm not going to necessarily say it like this, and some people might take it wrong, that you don't need anyone. Some people get into the business needing other people. And if those people sell you short or aren't available, then your business is going to fail. I know how to tattoo, I know how to pierce, I know how to work a mop, I know how to talk to customers, I know how to answer the phone, and I try to encourage anybody that getting into any type of business to be that same way. Don't rely on somebody else, or you'll find yourself paying people when you really don't have
couldn't learn the skills.
Yeah, you can learn the skills yourself. And then once you learn it, you're able to teach. When I learned how to tattoo, I taught everybody. Anybody that wanted to know any race, any gender, if you wanted to know, I taught them.
Yeah.
Without any wanting anything back. I just want you to learn.
You're giving.
Yeah, I just want you to learn. You know, back in the days when I got into the tattooing, I really say, hey, I need somebody to teach me. This one guy told me, he was like, man, you could work for me for 2 years for free, or you could pay me $15,000. I didn't have $15,000, and I'm not about to work for free for 2 years. It made sense. You know, that's nothing. You know, that's sacrifice, and that $15,000 to a tattoo artist ain't nothing, really. But I didn't think that was genuine.
Yeah.
You know, so ever since somebody treated me that way, I said I wasn't going to treat other people. You know, several people, even Shigeru, we were in his studio. Shigeru was one of my clients. And then he used to work at Circuit City. He used to trade TVs. I like electronics. He used to trade TVs for tattoos. And then Circuit City went under. He started working in a car lot. And he came to me one day. He was like, Kirk, man, this car lot stuff ain't what's up. He was like, teach me how to tattoo. And I was like, you know how to draw? He was like, no. I said, you know how to paint? He said, no. He said, but I'm willing to learn. And I said, okay. And kid you not, I use him as a demonstration every time I talk to people about that. He was the hardest worker, even though he didn't have those particular skills. I remember one time the iPad had just come out. They were $700 a piece. He said, I'm gonna have 2 by the end of the day. He came to work at 11. He was out the door at 7, going to whatever electronics store to buy two iPads. And everybody was like, where's Shigeru going? He's going to buy an iPad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
That's so good. And I've learned, like, that's a theme in my life right now, learning how to do shit for myself, because people, we're all flawed. Somebody's gonna let you down, but nobody can take knowledge that you learn. And as you level up as a business owner and you start seeing what it takes to run a business, it really does make more sense. Now, certain things I'm not gonna, like, for me personally, I stay in my lane. I'm not gonna do my taxes.
Right, yeah, I can't,
but
I can't do that either.
but like the day-to-day things, you know, and even this production stuff, Jennifer has been teaching me how to do editing, and, like, you know, and I used to be like, oh, I'm never doing that, but I'm growing in my perspective. So it has been such a pleasure. I could talk to you for, I know you have so many stories.
Many stories. Yeah, we'll be here.
We gotta do a part 2. We gotta do a group.
Part 2.
Yeah, yay. Okay, it's official. Y'all heard him say this. So when I slide up in your email, but thank you so much, Kirk. It's been such a pleasure. I appreciate you. You guys need to go check Kirk. If you haven't heard of FM, what's the Instagram?
Right now it's FM University.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, you could. And my personal is Kirkworks with an X, KirkWorkX.
We're gonna drop it in this on the YouTube so people can see and they can go follow. Thank you guys for listening to the Forbes Agency podcast. Thank you, Kirk.
You're welcome.
We'll see y'all later.
Bye.